Hello guys and welcome to episode 16 of my Ymir multiplayer series. So guys, I think this is the most, I don't know how to put it into words, pivotal moment in the series, or the most happened. Nothing crazy like a war or anything like that, but the reason I say it is because it's been 3 days since I last recorded, but I've been playing big in those 3 days because I've just been busy with a lot of things. I haven't been wanting to record, but that's a little bit of time just to play around here and there. I say here and there, I've been playing quite a lot actually. So a lot has changed. Like, even if we just go to the treasury, I had a quick look at the last episode's footage, even just from 3 days ago. We've gone from 40 coins to 180 coins. So we've well over tripled, in fact, quadrupled our income. Not our income, sorry, our net profit. We have now got an extra countryside, which I've already developed. It's got space for one more farm, but it's got 3 fully working farms. It's growing. We've got humid here, which that is actually shrinking. The reason is because it'll be meat. Yeah, there's been a massive crash of meat on the market. Get ready for this. Look at the amount of demand. 1,300 demand of meat. Well, that includes, sorry, the free traders, but all this demand for meat. A massive crash. No one's producing it. And because, again, it's another thing, wildlife's leaving Castell. This is, I don't know why it's repeating itself, but we lost that over a day ago, our wildlife. So we deleted I've deleted the 2 hunters, and now we're only producing 5 meat per tick. The main thing is, and there's so much to talk about, currency. I can't remember if I actually had currency last episode or not. I don't think I did. I think I've introduced currency since the previous episode. So that's a big thing I want to talk about. Currency. My goodness. Right, there's so much to talk about. So we're now in commodity currency. We're no longer in barter. So if you remember, as I explained how barter works, you're simply trading like for like. Currency, it's a currency. You've got coins. The game simulates it a bit weirdly, where in barter, you still amass coins, technically in your treasury, but it's not really coins. But now the game is simulating it, your economy, by saying you have coins. And so you get this, which enables dynamic prices. So now we can even see here, prices are upping, where, well, industry goods don't really change. But let's look at beer. So we can see here, now I've got all these stats of the market study, supply and demand, price arbitrage, all these different things that play into what price you've got. So I want to explain a few things. Just going through my playstyle, how I've quadrupled my income, how I've done that, how I've handled currency, because actually it's quite a big, it's not just like, oh, if you go back to it, currency gives us 10% efficiency, 10% waste loss, which is brilliant. It reduces conflict even further, and it gives us an expansion point. But you can see here, a negative of currency is this 15% forced labor tolerance decrease. What that means is, for every forced labor you've got, it costs you 15% more loyalty penalty. So forced labor is less effective now. I've still kept my forced labor values the same. I've just managed my loyalty through oligarchs, I've still only got 1 intimidation building, the brute hut. I've only got 1, but I did actually build 2, and I did all my own research. I was like, wait, it cost me 26 coins per building, and yes, I'm supplying it with meat, which I'm state buying, so you're actually only losing on this, the margin here, but it's still like, wow, it's costing me 26 coins, and it's using up a lot of cloves, uses up meat, which is, but it wasn't in short supply then, but now it's in short supply, uses up 6 jobs. Its GDP value to wealth, which I think I discussed in the last episode about the MEV figure, isn't very good. Gee, I'm going to stick with just 1. I only need just 1. So instead, the money I've saved, the 26 coins, I've just been bribing the oligarchs more. But look at our MEV, really poor. We before barter, I think we had it about 2.2, 2.5, maybe it was even 3, I can't remember. Then we went to barter, and it dropped to about 2. Now getting currency, it's just insane, because currency means that all your currency works by charging goods based on how rich your porcos are. It's just like in real life. If you go to London, the people in London are typically richer than, let's say, you went to a northern part of England. So if you went to London, you want to buy a pint of beer, that cost you 8 quid. Whereas if you went and bought the same pint of beer in, I don't know, somewhere in Yorkshire or somewhere up north, it might only cost you £3. I don't know. But it's that sort of thing where the price is changed, even though the goods are the same. It's the same in Ymir, where we've got really, really rich porcos. Yeah, these people aren't that rich down here, but these oligarchs, extremely rich at 39. The officials, extremely rich at 7.5. We've got 37 traders at 6.2. Doctors are really rich. And even these artisans are quite rich at 3.7. So because of that, we look at, let's say, beer, for example. You can see the market study. So this is what the merchants are doing. They're studying the market. That's how the game says it, to see what price they can charge. And you can see 4.6. That's quite a high price. And then we've got all the other factors that come into play. So they look at the supply and demand. So because we're demanding a little bit more than we supply, we get a tiny little bit increase of the price. And what price arbitrage is looking, as you can see, it's quite detailed. A little bit more complicated, but still quite easy to understand, is if your neighbours supply this same good and they supply it at a different price to what you supply at based on their market statistics. Maybe, for example, Hammond up here, his people are a lot richer than us. So because they're a lot richer than us, the market study is higher, so they pay a higher price. Because they pay a higher price, but we pay a lower price, we get a slight increase to our price due to price arbitrage, because they're pushing up the price. The opposite is happening. Let's say Hammond's people are poorer than us. We look back at this beer, which I think is actually the case here. You can see that our price should be higher, but because the average price of the world is lower than ours, we get a slight decrease to our price, because I don't actually, to be honest, understand the full, where it says influence of 67%. I don't really understand what determines influence. I think it's how far away they are and how much they supply. I'm not fully sure, but I assume distance plays a big part into that influence section. But you can see here, we get a 0.1 decrease to price because everywhere else in the world is supplying beer at a cheaper price than we are. Going on to beer, this is where currency is huge, because before, all the goods are simply at the prices the people produce them at. So beer, even though we don't produce it ourselves, the price of beer was 2 coins. So if I wanted to import it, the cheapest price I could import it at was 2.5 coins before. So obviously it's a little bit cheaper now, but 2.5 coins. At 2.5 coins, that means I'd make a 0.5 loss selling it. The supply and demand doesn't factor into it, because before currency, there is no supply and demand influence on the price. So I could supply beer for 2.5 coins and make a loss of 0.5, because I'd still get that bonus of the life quality, which you could say is actually worth the 0.5 coin loss. But now it's the complete opposite. We look at beer, I'm selling it. So remember, the people buy your product from you at this price, whereas we buy it from them at this price. So if we bought the wholesale price of 3.6 and we sold it on the market for 4.8, we'd make 1.2 coins. But when we buy in from the market at a price of, let's say, 1.9 coins, we sell it to the merchants at 4.8. So we're making huge profit. So we're supplying 16 beer. For every 16 beer, we make 4.8 coins minus 2 coins, or 1.9 coins. So we make 2.9 coins profit every beer we sell, and we're selling 16 beers. So you grab a calculator. So I've got a little calculator spare here. If we do 16 times, 2.9, we're making 46 coins profit. And then on top of all of that, we're getting the 3 life quality bonus. You can see here, the richer the people, the more they've got it, because they have more access to it. As you come down here, the guards can't even afford any, because they're so poor compared to the rest of the population. They can't afford any of the alcohol. But the oligarchs, for example, are getting +3 life quality from the alcohol. So it's huge. We're making a profit on it, and our population is getting more life quality from it. It's an absolute brilliant trade. And all it costs us is 1 civ point here, where it's just beer, just the consumption of beer. That is it. Everything else is done all through the markets. So that's what I've actually done with, only for now, one other thing, and that is potatoes, where I supply only 8, driving up that price to 5.3 coins. Yeah, we're buying in potatoes. We have been buying them in at 3 coins, 2.6 to 3 coins. Let's say an average of 2.8 coins. That means for every potato we buy in at 2.8 coins, we're making huge profits on them. And then if we look again, what does a potato provide us? If we look at the oligarchs, we can see they're getting the extra satisfaction from it and the extra health. We look here, food quality is giving them 12 health compared to, let's say, I don't know, the builders, who may be only getting or the guards, let's say, yeah. So the oligarch's getting 2.3 extra health from the potatoes compared to the poorest members of the society. So we're making huge profits on it, and we're getting that growth. So what if you're new to the game, one thing I would advise when you're starting to get into this later period is to start thinking about which things on the market, if we look again, lots of sales, or supply I should say, so let's say wheat. We're looking here, look at all this demand, but there's no supply. It's probably quite a saturated market for buying in, so let's avoid that one for now. What about carrots? Carrots, a bit more even, but still more buys than there is sales. What about potatoes? Are the same. I know we already eat chickpeas, but just for example, let's say chickpeas. Okay, and it's the same actually. So I think lettuce is the only one. So lettuce is the only one actually. But you look here and you go, wow, there's loads of supply. Why don't I maybe put a sip point into this and start consuming this? And you don't have to get the full. You don't have to get the full supply. So we go back to potatoes. I'm only supplying 8 out of a demand of 16, a total demand of 20. But it's what you want more. Do you want the growth or do you want the money? Obviously you get both, because technically if you get 16 supplied, you're getting the money from it. And then because your population is getting bigger, more jobs are filled, more economic growth, generating you more export revenue, generating you more wealth, up your score. It depends what you want. But I'm looking at the potato market and I'm going, they're actually, now with me buying all this in, it's struggling a little bit. So I'm going to keep it at just 8, which is the maxed out merchant. That earns me good profits, but it means you're not going to run out of potatoes and suddenly the market crashes. Being a little bit more gentle with the market. But that's what I've been working on these 3 days. Starting to, with currency enabled, import lots of goods. The negative side, guys, is the export of goods. Because our people are so rich, we get the benefits of all these goods that we can import, we make huge profits on. The negatives, and it's only for consumer goods, not for industry. So if we look at copper ore, which I've actually put an extra sip point into, which I'll get into in a second, but copper ore, it hasn't changed. There is no market study that's affecting the prices really. There is no supply and demand. It's just an industry good. Or if you look at the same with leather, but still 1.5 coins, or flint, 1 coin. Axe is the same. But if we look at meat's now gone from that 1 coin to 3.3 coins. Now what that is doing is making it much harder to export, because before, that's why I think the market's crashed, the switch to currency over the last 3 or 4 days, because everyone was buying in lots and lots of meat at 1.1 coins. And I was selling lots of meat at 1.1 coins because the price of the meat was based at its absolute minimum cost. Whereas since getting currency, everybody who's got a much richer population, which is probably most of the server, their people are driving up the value of meat. So now it costs me 2.5 coins to buy it. So technically, I'd have to sell at 2.5 coins just to break even without waste. So all these orders for 1.1, I'd make huge losses if I tried to sell them. So you can see my order here is, I'm selling at 2.7, so I make a very marginal profit on it. But because I need to supply my own cities for 2.7, that is why I'm doing it. So yeah, the meat market's crashed, and I assume it's down to currency. It might just be that there's so many more people on the market buying the meat up that actually that the sellers just can't keep up. But I think it is because of currency. So that is the negatives of currency. You can see here the symbol leather clothes. Before, I was selling a nice amount of leather clothes at 2.3 coins, lots of that 2.3 coins. Now my price has been driven up to cost me 2.6 to even buy it in. So I'm making a little bit more money on this one compared to meat with a cost of selling price of 3 coins, but still very marginal profits. So where I have focused my attention, I did all the maths. My economics knowledge has kicked in. I did all my profit per worker maths. I did it on several industries. I did it on cloves, meat, mud bricks, and copper ore, because they were the 4 that I was thinking of exporting. Mud bricks I've ruled out because actually we've got such fierce competition from Haman at 2.8. Meat is quite good, but now with the market crash and maybe currency, I actually can't really sell it very well. Leather clothes are the same. Copper ore, as I said earlier, that's an industry good, doesn't change in price. So actually, my demand, if we look here, selling huge amounts of copper ore, I did the maths, it makes me marginal. It makes me, I think, about 0.4 coins per worker. Remember, you have to have 6 workers on a mine to even get a small amount of copper. So let's just investigate that a little bit further. But yeah, 0.6 coins per worker. But that was before I put the extra sift point in. So now the price we buy it at has gone down by 0.3 coins. So for every copper we sell, we make an extra 0.3 coins profit. And the efficiency of the worker's gone up. So each worker now produces a little bit more. So I haven't recalculated it because I just know that I want to stick to this industry, because actually there's been quite a lot of demand for copper ore and I'm the main seller of it. And because, again, like I said, I can't really sell leather clothes. I just can't get my price down low enough to efficiently sell it. And meat is actually one I can sell. There seems to be a bit of demand at that higher price. People are so desperate to buy the meat in. But copper ore, you're trying to look at a full one. Do we have any that are full? Here we go. So now we're producing 2.1. I'm not sure why it's glitched a bit there, but I think it's because there might actually be too many buildings on this. That is why. Because again, since I've upped the efficiency, so again, this is where the game's just stupid. Like, we can see these buildings aren't at 100% capacity. It's telling us that we only have 26 usage here, so let's delete this one. I actually only built this one, like, early today, and then I got a sieve point in it. So anyway, so we've got these 5 buildings, and when it's at full, it produces 2.1 copper for 6 workers. So it's still quite inefficient, but a very, very nice consistent income, because we've got a lot of demand for 4.5, or even at 5.5. You can see the sales I've got here, hundreds of coins worth of sales. So again, I have to buy it in for quite a lot. It is a nice consistent revenue. One other thing, it just occurred to me, I think it was in between episodes again, is foodstuffs with agriculture levies are hugely profitable. I can't overstate how incredibly profitable foodstuffs are when you've got agricultural levies. Because I've never used agricultural levies before, so when I used it this first time, I was like, wow, look how much money your trade balance goes up by. Brilliant, incredible, yay. I never considered the exporting side as well, because if you look at a foodstuff, we look at lettuce. So if you want to buy in lettuce, it costs us 2.5 coins. I sell it for 2.5 coins. And I go, well, that's a complete waste. You're barely breaking even because you've got the waste of 4%. So you're actually losing money. Aha. That's where the agricultural levies come in. If you think about it, if 75% of all the foodstuff we produce, we own as a state good because of our agricultural levies, because remember, the agricultural levies give us 75% of all farmers' work. So farmers are buffaloes, cows, sheep, llamas, on any of the other foodstuff. So apples, potatoes, lettuce, chickpeas, whatever. Actually, our price is technically, if you want to say it's an industry good, is 0. So all that I'm doing is making 2.5 coins because I'm getting something that I got for free and I'm selling it for 2.5 coins. So that's amazing, 2.5 profit. If you want to get the average price, then it would just be whatever this price is times 0.25. So our average price then is 0.63 coins per foodstuff, because we own 75% of it. So the average price is 25% of whatever the wholesale price is. So we make a, 1.9 coin profit on every foodstuff. And when I'm producing 18 chickpeas, I'm getting all these sales, producing 10 lettuce, getting all these sales. You can see that does start to add up. It's quite an easy one to produce, yet you're making a lot of money on it. So again, I've been trying to export a little bit of my foodstuffs as well. So that's just all my blabbering on about currency changes. There's a lot to take in. If you're new to Ymir, that might be quite overwhelming for you. If you're not new to Ymir, you might have just skipped past all of that and got to where we are now, because now I'm going to talk about something different, which is some of the stuff I've been working on. So that is technologies. We've got smelting, as you might have seen here. I finally upgraded my smelters. And you might be going back to a previous video where I spoke about the fact that I was dropping copper. Well, what I've actually decided to do is, still take out my sieve points. So I don't have any sieve points in copper. I have actually got a sieve point back in copper ore, but look, sales 6.1 to 28.8 wealth generation. So it makes huge wealth compared to sales. And because, like I said, I'm making so much profit on the copper ore, getting more of it at a cheaper price now, just 2.3 wholesale, I make a nice profit when I'm selling it. Like, even to free traders, I'm going to make, 1.9 coins profit to free traders? So It really, really is good. And look, our stock is constantly low because I'm constantly selling. So I think it was a good choice to put it into copper ore. Yes, I could put sid points into probably more efficient things, but I can't find any market goods. So going back to my other point about you wanting to import stuff to sell it at high profits, I can't really find anything. Like wheat, all the foodstuffs I see, they're all like short of supply. Like rice, again, no demand there, demand or supply. So, and like cider, there's nothing. So I feel like I'm importing everything I can. So that's why I think copper ore is quite a good one. What else have I done? So yeah, sorry, smelting. That was it. But what I was saying about that, or what I was going to say about that, is axes. If we look, there's so much demand for axes. Like this guy's buying in 100 at 15.5, like thousands of coins worth of demand for axes. It's driven the price up to 20, which isn't a terrible price, but it's getting more expensive. So, what have I decided to do? Make them myself. Because I got the price of copper so low, it means that my copper bars are cheaper as well, and impacts the price of axes. So I can actually make an axe for 11.8 coins, which if we're saying it's 20 coins, that is what, 8.2, sorry, 8.2 coins I save. Yes, I have to have a worker working on it, but every 90 minutes getting an axe at 7.2 coin or 8.2 coins cheaper, I'm happy just to let it tick up. I can buy them at 20 if I absolutely needed to, but while things are just running, it's actually just a nice incremental source of axes. So I actually am producing myself, and yes, it goes against what I said about the MUV, but you know what? The MUV is being crashed so heavily by currency, I'm not as fussed about it, because I'm making so much money, again, 180 coins on my trade balance, and that is not including all my exports. It does include a bit on the trade balance for example, buying in beer. If I'm exporting copper, this doesn't incorporate the profits I will be getting from the copper, obviously. The game can't predict that. So whether this is 178 coins, I'm actually making probably 250 per tick, or maybe 300 or whatever. I'm definitely making a lot, because when I played this earlier, I was on 200 coins. I'm at 1,000 now, so I'm bringing a lot of cash. And I'm trying to spend it. That's why I constantly... Well, 1,000 coins is actually quite a lot now, but I'm actually been trying to keep my my cash reserves low, because I'm constantly upgrading my houses. So it's another thing. Look at the amount of houses I got upgraded now. I've obviously got all my houses down here. But then I'm now starting to actually go through my leather houses and upgrade them. But going back to this one, we're smelting some copper. The upgraded copper. So these make 3 times the amount of copper. Like I told you, the ones were trash. But these are 3 times more copper. So I can actually have 2 buildings running. It's the equivalent of having about 5 before. In fact, I think it's actually more than that. Because before we didn't even have 6, so we're actually making more copper now with just 2 buildings. We've got that, so that's just smelting. Then we've got Urian herring, which is the big upgrade to leather. We can't actually do it though, because you need planks, and planks are Bronze Age tech. And there is Bronze Age, you can see here. Here we go. Chieftain Draken has got bronze working, but that'll take a little bit for the planks to come onto the market, and I'm sure there'll be big demand for it. So we can't do that one yet, but we have got the tech. Then we've got manure fertilizing. That just gives us a little bit more field efficiency. So I've already upped the fields, but that gives us a little bit nice extra source of food stuff income. And we've got currency, obviously. Fermentation, which lets us build the taverns. Let's quickly talk about that. So taverns are just as good as the market stands when it comes to importing, because actually they're doing the same as the market stands, where they're buying off me 0.8 beer per tick for the price of 4.8. They're almost like the market stands, where I'm importing beer for 2 coins, selling to them for 4.8 coins. Brilliant profit there, amazing profit. And in return, they provide a service, which is also the level 3 service, entertainment. So they're buying off me the beer for a massive profit, and then generating a service that gives me a lot of life quality. So another brilliant industry. There's only one sid point, it's just the tavern. I've got about as much as I can get on that, because you can see here the price here, because of the market study, any higher than this, I'm going to have supply over demand. So I'll be building the buildings and hiring workers, but won't actually get anything out of them. Same with the doctors. If you look at the doctors, I'm actually supplying more than the demand is, but that hasn't driven the price down enough to get more demand. So technically I'm at my limit there. If I build any more doctors, I'm not going to get much more out of them. That was that tech. What else have we got? Town administration. Did I talk about town administration in the last episode? I think I did. This is another huge thing we've got. The town hall. So what that has done is upgraded our community hall and turned us into a town. A town lets you build 2 more countrysides. It gives you, what is it? You go from 10 coins of upkeep to 30 coins of upkeep for free. You can see that here. The 30 monies of free upkeep. But this building does cost 10 more upkeep than the community hall. But technically you're making a profit of 10 coins. Because you've gained an extra 20 coins. But your upkeep's gone up by 10, so you've made 10 extra free coins. So you get the free coins, you get 2 extra countrysides, you get 5 more officials, which is bad in the sense that you have to bribe more people, so it costs you more. Then look how much administration we've gone up by, because they're more efficient as well. So if we look at our waste, local administration has gone down from about 22% to 7%. Looking here also, I'm going to bribe my officials more, because we can see here we've got minus 2.2, but actually losing 19. So them 4.5. Remember, we have to bribe them more now though, because of our MUV being lower, our bribes will have less. So that is where I've had to bribe my people a lot more. Like if we look now at the oligarch bribes, I'm bribing them 25 coins each, and yet we're getting less legitimacy and wealth than we were when I was bribing them at like 15 coins each, just because of the MUV decreasing so drastically. But hey, we're making so much money, it's not a major loss. So by bribing them a little bit more there, we'll get a little bit less waste. Hopefully go down to 0%, so we'll make some money on our what would have been waste. But yeah, so town hall is brilliant. We've now got a lot less waste. I'm not going to get more countrysides though. I just don't have the space for them. Because if we look at our map, I've got this extra countryside like I said, but the only space I've got is these 2 mountains, and they're trash. They're just mountains. No ores, nothing. It's just gravel, so don't have any space. But I'm happy for that, because if you get extra countrysides, it lowers your administration. So all I'd have to do is just spend more money on bribing my officials to lower the waste anyway. And what my plan is, I'll let you in a little secret. I obviously built my second hamlet here. I'm not sure if you saw it earlier. I'm sure you did. But I can set this as my new capital. If I set this as my new capital, I can then build I can already build. If I upgrade this to a town, I can already build 5 countrysides anyway. But if I set this as my capital and build the 5 countrysides, I can focus my wealth here and turn Castell into a secondary city. What that does is, because when you build another place, it gets a penalty. If we look at administration, it should actually be reflected. There we go. 30% from distance of capital. So at the moment, this is only 6 because our administration is terrible at 20. But as this goes up and up, our administration is always going to have a terrible 30% loss on it, which is really bad. If we then make this this is our cap. Let's say we make Rocktown our capital, it switches at 30% admin loss to Castell. But because Castell's got so much admin, or admin spare, I should say, because it hasn't got those 2 countrysides, it sort of evens it out that we now can balance our waste a bit better, if that makes sense. Because if you've got 5 countrysides here, we're going to use up a lot of admin, plus we'll take that 30% hit. Admin will be so bad here in Rocktown that our waste, even with 25% being brought down by the corruption, we probably still will make a loss. But other way around, if we set Castell as the secondary city, we can manage the admin a bit better. Also, Rocktown being the capital means that if I ever make another city, I don't know how far this series will go. I don't know if you can get a 3rd city anytime soon. But if this is the capital, let's say I can get another city here, which then means it's in between these ones, so it only then gets the 30% admin penalty or whatever. Whereas if this is the capital, I can't get another city because this one would just be too far away. It would be extremely inefficient. So that is my long-term plan, is to move my capital to Rocktown. Because all I need to do is just delete my government building in this one, the Chief's Hut, and just rebuild it in Rocktown. So that's something I've got to think about. Go back to the text, that's what I was speaking about before. A few new ones that have come through. I think irrigation, you did see in the last episode. If not, it's the same as manure fertilizing. It's just a 0.1 to field efficiency. Metal casting, this one is huge. it unlocks level 2 butchers. That is huge for us because we've got, I think, 18 jobs, 22 jobs dedicated to butchering, and we're still not producing enough leather, anywhere near enough leather for all our leather workers, 7.3 loss. And we need more meat because I want to sell more on the market at the price of the 2.7 or higher or whatever. So upgrading our butchering will either save us jobs, or with the same amount of jobs, we'll probably double the amount we produce. So it's absolutely huge. Other stuff that's come through is padded armor. I haven't even got spears, so I'm not bothered about padded armor. Padded armor just starts letting you build. If you have a shield, padded armor, light helmet, and spears, you can make spear pigs. So we haven't even got spears, shields, or helmets. So I don't care about padded armor, but something to think about. Horseback riding, same. Horseback riding is very, very good because you can start getting cavalry. And you can also start breeding your own horses. We don't have horses, and I'm not too fussed about getting cavalry. Again, I haven't even got spearmen. Why would I be desperate to get cavalry? So that one's on the back burner. Other stuff that's come through that is potentially useful. Storage hauling, level 3, granary and warehouse. But this transaction tracking is what I want. Because even though it doesn't do anything right now, this one's setting us up for Bronze Age tech. And with Bronze Age just around the corner, I want to get this one ready. But actually, funnily enough, it's just the clay that's holding us back. There's just no clay being sold. We've got a little bit coming in here, but very, very minor. So there's still so much more to cover, guys. Like, I'm going to have to split this up into 2 episodes. I've already rambled on about all the currency and all the changes so far, but I also want to develop Rocktown further. I seem to be getting pretty good growth. I actually need one job. Only one job was here, but 59 growth of piglets and sows. We're getting some good growth there. I'm selling lettuce and meat. Both I'm importing from the market, which I've built there. I've already got some production going, but it's purely hammers and hoes. But that is good because that means that this place is already self-sufficiently producing its own hammers and hoes to use later on. What I'm not going to do here, though, is produce any farming unless I absolutely need to. Any farming in the capital itself, because of, remember, this agricultural levy. If we go to loyalty, and then state, agricultural levy is 24. Even with 18 farmers, we're still suffering 24 penalty to loyalty from this. So if we can keep all our farmers in our countryside, which we balance so well by having such good legitimacy, even though they've got 71 agricultural levy penalty, we've got such good legitimacy, it's all balanced. That means we can keep our town with much better loyalty, which means it's cheaper to maintain. So that'd be brilliant. What I want to do is upgrade this to a town, so we can have the 5 countrysides. Start to really push out, maybe take up here. So flatlands, so better fertility, 3 fertility here. I've checked these 2, no copper or anything. Here for flatlands, claim this one. But here for flatlands, maybe if there's some ore here, I could claim this one as well and get countryside. That'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. Then with these 2, then I can get these 2. So really just expand wherever I want and get some more farming land and whatever. The last thing I want to cover before I go into the next episode recording is just some of the civ points. So all I've simply done is taken a civ point out of wood. You can see we no longer got wood, and I put those civ points straight into copper. I took out the civ point from copper, which I think I showed you anyway in the last episode. So there's 2 civ points I revoked of what would that be? I can't even think. It would be 4 days, but I can't think of it now. Anyway, that's irrelevant. Over 4 days, I've taken out copper and wood, put that into copper ore and meat, I believe, or leather cloves. Assumptions I've got is the potatoes, tavern and beer, as I showed you before. And I've got 1 civ point here, but I don't know what to get. Cloves would be a good one, but I just don't think there's that much. Yeah, alright, there is starting to open up. 3.5. Yeah, there's some good ones at 3.5, but look how much more there is. I think cloves is one I can go for. If we look here, it's only 3.8 though, but that's because I haven't actually started to supply it. So I think I'll go into, I think I'm going to put this point into cloves, and I'm going to cover that in the next episode. So if you've stuck through this whole episode and you've listened to me ramble on, then I love you. No, but thanks a lot for watching. If you've enjoyed it, leave it a like. If you're enjoying the series as a whole and you've been watching all the way up to what is episode 16 and you haven't subscribed already, then what are you doing? Get subscribing, my son. Yeah, Discord is in the description, so join up, say hello. Apart from that, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.